Recently, Trisha Paytas had a child and the whole internet exploded, with many people doing the tradition of reincarnation memes after Ozzy Osbourne died within a few hours of the baby being announced. However, this expanded beyond just internet jokes when Ethan Klein said on his podcast that he believes Trisha Paytas lied about being infertile in the past, saying that she did it simply for attention and sympathy. This caused an uproar on various snark Reddits against Ethan Klein, with him doubling down in response on his Instagram story saying he's actually going to make a video on the situation, along with accusing Moses, Ela Klein's brother and Trisha's husband, of being inappropriate with fans in the past. Welcome to the internet versus Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas. It starts when Trish Crave tweets out, Trisha Paytas announces her baby's name is Aquaman Moses Paytas Hackman. Now, of course, there was a whole bunch of memes about this situation, but the topic of this video really starts when Lil CPS tweets out, Ethan Klein again accuses Trisha Paytas of lying about her fertility struggles after welcoming her new baby, Aquaman. What a sad, miserable man. Attaching this clip.
Emily's beautiful and great.
Yes.
But once again, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to get it out. Trisha lied about being infertile, and that's a disgusting thing to do. She had 3 kids back to back without a single fucking hesitation. Back to back. She got pregnant immediately. Now that's great and good for them, but she continually lied about being infertile, which is a horrible fucking thing to do because real people go through that every day and they don't get to have 3 kids back to back exactly planned just like you want. Fuck that.
I'm a little old school, so I'm just gonna say congrats.
Congrats. Yeah, that's what I said too.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen. It upsets me. I don't like the way that she's lied about this shit, okay? You guys don't have to say it, but I will. I know people go, oh, she got IVF and stuff. That helps, but if you're infertile, like she's lied about her whole fucking life leading up to this, she said she got diagnosed that she will never have kids. And she's farmed sympathy for it her whole career up until... She magically had 3 family plannings go perfectly without a hitch. Liar. Shame on her for lying about that. It's horrifically disgusting. But family's beautiful, and that's all I have to say about that. I just think she's disgusting for lying about that. And Moses is a fucking freak for naming his kid Aquaman.
They continue their thread. Not all the Trishy-landers my mentions now that the newest Trisha snark just got banned for harassing her children. And Samantha says, I don't get why he's so passionate about this or what the point of her lying would even be, lol. And Exasm replies, she lies about a lot of things for no reason other than to gain sympathy and attention. He's passionate about it because it's a close and personal subject for him and his wife, who had to undergo fertility treatments to have their kids. And Cece replies to the clip by saying, also, women's health is extremely underfunded and studied on. Women get inaccurate diagnoses all of the time. Is he her OBGYN? And Ojama replies, why are you guys acting like Trisha is not a pathological liar? And one tired human says, because she's not. People call her a liar because she can't clearly remember things like what age she started S work, for example. But not having a clear memory of something does not equal lying. And Ojama replies, she lied about having DID, about being a trans man, about being schizophrenic, about being abused by a teacher and defamed a dead man. She got pregnant right after she started trying and has been pregnant for 3 years straight without having to do any fertility treatments. And one tired human replies, 1, she didn't lie. She was uneducated and thought she had it because she would have blackouts and not remember what happened. People would tell her she was a different person, something people with BPD can struggle with, and she did end up turning it into a joke when people didn't take her seriously. 2, she didn't lie about her teacher. There's no proof she was lying, just that she was wrong about him going to jail. She didn't know he had passed because why would she? She only heard he went to jail. At the end of the day, no one knows what happened besides Trisha and the teacher. And 3, Trisha has been talking about her infertility issues long before she started the podcast with Ethan, and has talked about her treatments. And Ojama replies, yeah, that's called her lying for sympathy because she saw other women on infertility journeys get insane amounts of clout and love. The amount of grace you people give to a pathological liar that hasn't done an ounce of activism in her life and voted for Biden for an Instagram post is wild to me. Why not go to war for someone actually worth it, instead of someone who domestically abused her last 2 partners? Over on r/leftoversH3, Recovered Gang Stalker also posted posts the same clip with the caption, Ethan Klein the misogynist again accuses Trisha Paytas of lying about her fertility struggles. My jaw was on the floor. He will be a miserable piece of shit for the rest of his life. And Joper says, funnily enough, Olivia fell silent the rest of the episode. And Busy Swan replies, and yet, like always, she'll still stick around even knowing her boss is awful. And Angelica says, I find it funny how making fun of Trisha is one of the only things that visibly bothers her. Meanwhile, she sits and giggles and yasses through things with much heavier, global, objectively more fucked up implications on a daily basis. Not undermining Trisha, but come on. And the Penguin replies, kind of how Ethan is more upset about how Netanyahu makes Jews look bad, more than he is in him committing a fucking genocide and dehumanizing Palestinians on a fucking podcast. They only care about what affects them. HZ fan says, that's his newborn nephew he's talking about, by the way. And Duflamingo 4900 replies, important to note that he and his wife also struggled with infertility and had 3 kids back to back to back in less than 5 years. Trisha had 3 kids in 3 years. That doesn't mean she lied about struggling with infertility. Treatments exist and he knows that better than anyone because he literally went through it. Can you imagine if someone accused Hila of lying about infertility struggles based on how quickly their kids were born? He would dedicate the next several years and millions of dollars to ruining their entire life. What a fucking freak. NEB replies, we need the clip of him doing it the first time too because I think that got lost in the underscore sub. Because that happened when Snark was down. Can't let this bitch forget about it. It also happened like the day before he announced CPS was called, which was one of the main reasons I suspected he faked that shit, because he always pulled those stunts right after doing / saying something horrible to distract from the shit he got called out for. Might also be a coincidence and happened, who knows, I don't give a fuck either way. If it's fake then I'm not surprised, if it's real then he clearly deserved it since CPS isn't just showing up to any house after any call. And Eve Can Do It replies, here's the clip of him going on a rant about this back in March. And Rusty Shackleford posted this clip which is 9 minutes, I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I will play this little segment of the clip to just represent what happened back in March.
Listen, if it makes me a giant asshole, I own that. I'm a fucking giant asshole. That's just what that's what I thought. Maybe I shouldn't question her, and I know it's fucked up to question her, and I know how sensitive it is and how hard it is for women to get pregnant and how personal and all this shit is. Okay? Yeah, I'm a giant fucking asshole, okay? I shouldn't do it. That was my first thought. That's it. I said, this woman's on her 3rd fucking baby, and she went and she fucking, like, she shamed me and my wife for announcing we got pregnant, and then she had 3 babies like consecutively, like no fucking problem, like bam, 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 like exactly planned, like bam, bam, bam. She got pregnant like the day after they got married. That kind of timing is not what happens when you're infertile. I've heard about the things that women go through who are actually infertile trying to get babies, and it is like hell. They put themselves through hell. They have to do the egg collection like several times. Sometimes the eggs, you barely get like a few. Like when Hila got it, she got dozens. Sometimes when you're infertile, you get 1 or 2, maybe if you're lucky. And then you have to pray that they're high quality. This is my opinion, okay? I'm the biggest asshole in the world. I don't care. Everybody already thinks that, and maybe it's true, right? But I think she fucking lied, and I think it's fucked up. And that's all I have to say about that. This is just me, baby. I make no fucking apology. Fuck you. How about that? Fuck all you Trisha stans, and fuck Trisha too for lying about it, in my opinion. Listen, I've been through IVF. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not some random punter on the sidelines. I know Trisha and I know IVF, and I fucking think it's fucked up. I've noticed it from the first one. I'm so sorry for calling Trisha Paytas a fucking liar. Please forgive me. You know how little fucks I give about these fucking people? Boom, boom.
Then Mailslayer tweets out, hypocrite Ethan Klein talked about Trisha Paytas' kids and even made fun of her new baby's name. When I say fuck Ethan Klein, fuck Theodore and his other kids, I'm saying it for a reason. His kids will one day realize they never met their cousins because of their pathetic dad. And Choso replies, yes, defend the retard co who gave their kid a name that they will change at 18 after being ruthlessly bullied for it because their mom is a deranged quirk chungus. And OP says, the name literally isn't bad, dumbass. bait. And Drilltooth says, holy bait. AB then weighs in and replies to Mailslayer's original post by saying, you're a disgusting human being. Disagree with his takes all you want, but saying fuck his kids is truly grotesque. Shame on you. Then over on H3H3 Productions' Dragon Ball fan account puts the interaction between Mailslayer and AB and captions it, that's right AB, and Kenjibo says, the fact that AB is going to 100% get harassed to all fuck in the comments for defending kids is fucking insane and, once again, shows this has nothing to do with Palestine and these people do not give a single fuck about genocide. And Cornelius Red replies, I think the majority of snarkers come from the Trisha era. These people got lucky that they can use Palestine to further their original hate for Ethan. It also makes sense why these people are utterly mentally insane. When your favorite influencer is Trisha Paytas, you are definitely not right in the head. Throw-Me again says, she named her kid fucking Aquaman. There is no way to defend that. And Rarglar replies, Ethan was 100% right when he said Trisha viewed them as an accessory. Then Ethan responds to this when Yi tweets it out with the caption, Ethan says he will be dropping a video about Trisha Paytas and her husband Moses. Also doubles down on his take about Trisha's infertility issues. And he attaches this screenshot of Ethan's Instagram story where he screenshots a post from H3 Productions which says, a reminder for Trisha Paytas' fans, Trisha harassed and abused Ethan constantly during frenemies, insulted Hila, says Moses just wants to fuck H3 fans, said she will fuck Ethan's dad. This is the same person Trisha fans claim was actually Ethan's victim. Here's an incomplete timeline of her abuse. And then Ethan responds saying, lol, are people actually mad about what I said? This freak lied, in my opinion, about being infertile for social credit, and then immediately had 3 kids in perfect succession. I'm entitled to my opinion on the matter as a parent that has been through fertility treatments. I'll also add that this involves my family, so this is very much my business, and very much not yours, you parasocial rejects. P.S. Moses allegedly SA'd at least one of our fans, stealthing, and exploited at least one other for S. He is the reason there will never be a Frenemies reunion, not Trisha. We will never forgive him for taking advantage of her fans for S behind our backs. Also, her fans have tried to ruin our lives every day since Frenemies ended. Some of them are currently being sued. Have a nice day. Then there's this Instagram story where he says, should I make a quick video on between Trisha lying and Moses fucking her fans, and Hassan lying about Jews controlling ISIS, which we also covered all of the conversation about that on our channel as well. Over on RH3H3 Productions, CNM Guzzler also posts this Instagram story by Ethan with the caption, dropping fucking bombs, Ethan. And Shinnikal replies, Moses is gonna go running to mommy again. Our ambassador says, the clip of Ethan telling Moses he will never stop talking about him and Ethan making fun of him for crying to mommy is one of the best ever podcast moments. I hope we get another one. Lethal Gillyknacker says, well, shit, there it is. I don't think they've ever actually brought this up or addressed this head on before. And Tanas262 replies, yeah, I heard of the stealthing allegations, but Ethan never said anything about them until now. He's definitely not giving a fuck anymore about protecting Moses, and I'm glad it's that way. Knowing that Ethan and Hila know and are aware of this just makes more sense why they repeatedly used to say, Moses is why frenemies is not a thing anymore. Also on Leftovers H3, Calmaphone at 6848 posts, the Trisha lied about her fertility narrative is very obviously something Ethan picked up from TL. I haven't seen many people pointing out that despite the fact Ethan is constantly accusing other of being snark-brained and currently claims to be anti-snark subreddits, he's still repeating arguments on his show that came from Trisha's now deleted snark Reddit, Trishyland, which he used to frequent daily before it got deleted by Reddit for harassment. The idea that Trisha lied about being infertile was very often repeated on Trishyland, and a lot of the clips people used as evidence that she lied were also compiled by TL snarkers. I personally don't think Ethan came to the conclusion that she lied about her fertility struggles on his own, and given the fact we know he used to visit TL, it was one of his frequently visited pages on his browser, and he and Hila also referred to the subreddit as a home base, it's obvious where he got this idea. Ethan is truly the biggest hypocrite on the planet. He claims to be an anti-snark crusader and talks about how snark subs cause people to end themselves, but not only is his show basically a snark podcast on his enemies, he also steals a lot of his content and arguments in the show from snark pages about his enemies. TL is an obvious example of a snark that he would frequently get anti-Trisha arguments from, but the Destiny subreddit, which is basically a Hassan snark, is another example. His research on the content nuke was probably 90% browsing that sub for out-of-context Hassan clips and arguments to use against Hassan. And Sad Meme Dogger replies, it's like him getting mad at Adam for being on Colleen's snark when 1, Ethan and the crew used it for research, and 2, Adam was a child that was taken advantage of by Colleen, so obviously he's going to be a part of her snark. Love how Ethan just lies about things and his audience just goes with it. Wild to say Adam's whole job is snark when Ethan does the exact same shit except he has 20 years on Adam. Captain Kung Pao says, what is the evidence that she lied? The fact that she ended up having kids? And OP replies, When I talked to a fun guy about it, they linked me a clip from Frenemies of her saying that the reason she thought she was infertile is because she was having unprotected S with her BF at the time for years and didn't get pregnant, but that she thought she might be able to conceive if she lost weight. They thought this proved she never actually believed she was infertile because she thought she had a possibility of getting pregnant in the future. They also said since she was getting her period regularly, that should have proved to her she would be able to conceive, which is insane. Honestly, it's all stupid because if at any point she tried to get pregnant and couldn't, especially having unprotected S for a year plus, that's enough to count as struggling with fertility. Over on Fouamois, Committed to Greatness also posted the clip of Ethan Klein reacting. In classic Carpet replies, I'm a longtime hater of Trisha Paytas, but I do love how she gets under Ethan's skin without even trying. And Supernova Giraffe says, heartwarming. The worst people you know are all fighting. Frosting Freak says, truly fuck this school. And JLoss23 replies, he's just mad because his bro-in-law and Trisha look genuinely happy. Ethan and his wife look so miserable, and seeing how he talks, I can't blame them. Deja Vu says, infertile does not equal sterile. Ethan Klein is such a stupid piece of shit. And Stan Barely Alive 58 replies, yes, this is so simple. Infertile is not necessarily a permanent diagnosis. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives, Kiko Salsaud, Coldest Bandito, Captain Crashout, and 19 kilometers. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.